Hey team, Bill Storm here with you, and today we're going to continue our study of John Maxwell's book, High Road Leadership. We're on to chapter 2, Value All People. So John emphasizes the importance of recognizing the inherent worth of every individual within a leadership context. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And John argues that true leadership transcends mere management or task-oriented approaches. In fact, last week, we joked about that and we said if you've just given yourself the title of leader, but no one's following you, then you're basically just going for a walk. So today I'm going to share with you 5 key takeaways from chapter 2, and then I'll give you some action steps that you can take to take your leadership to the next level. So the first key takeaway is inherent worth. John asserts that every person has intrinsic value, irrespective of their role, background, or level of contribution. So let's talk about that for a second. I believe that every human being is created equally, right? Each person has inherent value. We're all worth something. There is no one person that is worth more than another person when they're first born, right? So if we have a hospital full of babies, all of those babies all have the same inherent value as a human being. Now, when it comes to leadership and it comes to running your company, while we want to treat people fairly and we want to treat people equally, their worth to you as an employee or as a team member, however, is very different than what their inherent value is, right? And we don't want to confuse those two things. So how well they do their job, right, or the spirit in which they do the task before them that they're responsible for in your company, that's what creates value or their worth as an employee or as a team member. So someone may inherently have value, but if they're doing a poor job, they're not doing what they're tasked to do, well, their value or their worth to you as an employee or a team member goes way down. But if they approach the task that they've been given and they make themselves invaluable to you, where you literally can't do without them because they do such a good job, now their worth goes up tremendously. I remember my first mentor, one of the first jobs I had was as a janitor in a martial arts school. So I spent a lot of time cleaning the mirrors in the floors, in the bathrooms. And I remember my mentor saying to me, he said, Billy, he said, when you're doing this job, I don't want you to see yourself as a janitor. I want you to see yourself as a CEO in training. And one of the things that's really important is to have a critical eye, right? Because if I can't trust you with the small things, I'm not going to be able to trust you with the bigger things. And I thought that was great, right? Because he treated me as not who I was or the task that I was doing, but who I was going to become. So he poured into me and he trained me to think that way. And because I did such a good job and because I took that so seriously, I became invaluable to him and his organization and worked my way up the ladder. And truly, without him, I wouldn't be where I am today, based on him believing in my inherent value and then pouring into me and feeding me and helping me increase my actual worth as a team member and as a leader. Number 2, empathy and leadership. There's a big difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy makes you part of the problem. Empathy as a leader, this helps you become someone that your team members can go to and they can trust because they know that they can come to you. They know that you understand their needs. They know that you can listen to them and understand the emotions that they're going through and their perspectives. But what we need to do is also make them understand that you're not going to jump in and become part of a pity party or become part of the problem. You're going to be part of the solution. So you're going to listen to them with empathy, but then also create solutions to help them do their job better and to help them overcome any challenges that they have. Number 3 is mutual respect. Valuing all people requires leaders to treat everyone with equal respect. Okay? There is no difference when it comes to respect between how you treat the janitor and how you treat the CEO. In fact, I would say this, if I'm looking at a leader, I want to see how that leader treats the janitor, because that will speak volumes about who they are as a leader and whether or not I would want to follow him or her. Number 4, empowerment through inclusion. When leaders value their people, they naturally seek to include them in decision-making processes. One of the things that I believe is that we're all stronger and smarter together, especially as the company grows and as the CEO or a leader goes higher up the mountain. Sometimes it's hard to see what's going on, boots on the ground, what's going on down at the bottom. And that is so important because that's where the customer experience happens. So we want to make sure that we include people that are the people that are closest to the customers or to the clients to find out what their perspectives on things when we're making decisions. Number 5 is cultural sensitivity. In today's globalized world, effective leaders must be culturally sensitive, right? Recognizing and appreciating the diverse backgrounds and perspectives within their teams. This is what's great about being exposed to so many different cultures, because different people believe different things. Our customers also believe different things based on their upbringing. So it's great to be able to include more perspectives on things in order to help us grow our companies. So here's some action steps that you can take as leaders. Number 1, listen actively, right? God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a good reason, right? We want to use our ears and commit to active listening. We want to regularly seek input from our team members, ensuring that they feel that their voices are heard. There's nothing worse than being on a team and being asked a question or asked for your opinion and then feeling like you're not being heard or validated, or that what you had to say wasn't important. Now, I'm not saying that what somebody says you're going to do it, but they have to understand that you appreciate their input, because that will help you as a leader make the decisive decisions that you need to make. Number 2, practice empathy. So make empathy a core component of your leadership. Take the time to understand your people. Understand the personal and professional challenges your team members have. We are emotional creatures. We don't just function on logic. We are very emotional people. So if you can tap into that, you will build trust and strengthen relationships. Number 3, promote inclusivity. Create an inclusive environment where everyone feels that they belong and contribute, right? This is so huge. And I think companies these days are finding that more and more important. Involving team members in your decision-making processes increase their sense of ownership and engagement and gets them to buy in. The more inclusive they feel, the more they feel a part of the company, the more likely they are to stay and remain loyal to you. No one wants to be a number. Number 4, model respect. Lead by example in showing respect to every individual. One of the practices that we use is called name times 3. Every time we see a person, we acknowledge that person and we do our best to touch that person, if you will, 3 different times, right? By saying their name, giving them a pat on the back, shaking their hand. Make people feel special. That is how you show respect to people. There is no one that walks through the door that deserves less respect than another. Number 5, encourage personal growth. Show that you value your people by investing in their development. Provide opportunities for learning, mentorship, and career advancement, which will benefit both the individual and the organization. Again, I'll go back to my first mentor and boss, who I worked for in the martial arts school. While I was cleaning the mirrors one day, he came up to me and he says, "Billy, I'd like to have a conversation with you for a minute." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I want you to understand that while you're doing this job, you are not a janitor. You are in martial arts university, and I would like to have you listen to these courses that we have available." And it just happened to be the course by Tony Robbins called Personal Power, and that he was currently studying. And he said, "If you will study the same thing that I'm studying, you'll be able to create a life for yourself that other people can only dream of." So I believed him and I trusted him, and that's exactly what I did. I pulled out my Walkman at the time and popped the tape in, and I would listen to that material over and over and over again till I could literally repeat the course almost verbatim. Number 6, recognize and celebrate diversity. Again, we talked about that a moment ago, right? We want a diverse team. We want people that have different backgrounds and different perspectives. This is a strength, not a weakness, and you leverage it to enhance creativity and problem solving. So there is our overview of chapter 2 on valuing all people. I would encourage you to take these notes and perhaps take one action step or one key takeaway that really spoke to you today, and then implement that and practice that throughout the week, right? Repetition is the mother of skill, and where attention goes, energy flows, and results always show.